Welcome to the Big Review. I'm your host, Bernard Adams. Today, I have a special guest. The Big Dude.
Hello.
Big Dude, audience, Big Dude.
Yeah, they're not that scary.
Wait. Wait till after the reviews.
All right.
All right. So, the reason why I have Big Dude here today is because I'm going to be discussing one of his favorite things, which is Comic-Con offered some pretty good news, some big news. At least three of them we're going to go through. And one of them is the Superman-Batman movie that they said they're going to have. And I didn't like Man of Steel, but I like Batman. But I just can't see them combining the two. I mean, DC has failed us before with, Green Lantern, and it just got ugly. So what do you think about that? Because Batman's your favorite character.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they've been very good. The Batman movies have been. I mean, just absolutely amazing with Chris Nolan. And so hopefully they can bring some of that with it. Now, the problem of that is, of course, Batman being a very street-level type of a movie where it's this is his city and his what he does. And Superman would absolutely wreck that. He said, oh, well, there's some crime. Okay, great. I'm just going to cart him off to jail. Here you go, Batman. There it is. So there's going to have to be a point there where they have a conflict and say, this is my city, if it's going to be in Gotham, of course, and just kind of draw that line between the two. And then, of course, it'll be great. So, yeah.
In my opinion, I think they should have a trinity, because I think they should do Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Because that way, they've been trying to get Wonder Woman into the scene for the longest time. And They might as well do the big three. And then if you do the big three, and then you can pull an Avenger or Marvel, and they can go into Justice League.
Absolutely, and which was probably where they wanted to go eventually, because as big as Avengers hit, a Justice League movie would probably be just as good if it's done properly, of course. So, agreed. And they have to bring her in sometime, so why not start here? It's great. So, I mean, just maybe even like towards the end, there's a cameo maybe or something would be good.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even some of the other Justice League characters that are probably not as big names, so...
Well, they're going to bring in the Flash in 2016.
Yes, so there you go. So now at least we'll have Flash involved, so that's starting to come together nicely. And I think Flash movie actually has a potential of being very, very good.
Oh, yeah, it's easy, with CGI to have them run through. I mean, they did that all through, like, Smallville and stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you got to do, like, the tornado thing, so just wrap it up. But
you're just going to have to make it interesting. Like, what villains? I wonder what villains they're going to bring in, because he's got an entire rogue gallery.
Right, absolutely. And... I mean, the obvious answer is Gorilla Grodd, since it's his arch nemesis.
You think they're going to do the Gorilla?
Well, I don't know. It really depends on the type of movie they want to go with, because he's going to be a strange bad guy. Quite honestly, it's like you're going to have a lot of backstory there to try to piece together in one movie. So maybe they won't even do a big bad guy. Maybe they'll just do like a world disaster or something that they can fight in order to do it. So we'll see. Can't do Captain Cold though. Nope.
Lame name.
Lame name. Really lame. And Mr. Freeze never did well in the Batman movies either, so, is he going to be good? No.
All right. Okay, so, and the next, the third big news that they had was Avengers 2.
Yes.
And they just went into an entirely different direction with that. Instead of Thanos, they're going to use Ultron. It's going to be Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. And how are they going to do that without Harry Pym?
Yeah.
He's the originator. Is it Hank or Henry?
Yeah, it's always been Hank.
Okay. All right, Hank, I've been corrected.
Well, they may even go with him, perhaps. I mean, they did do where the S.H.I.E.L.D. was trying to bring together this whole supergroup, not just the Avengers. They may even go like Ultimate Avengers and do more of that. So if they did Hank Pym, then they could do multiple giant men, which is what they did in the comics. Would be amazing. So that would be a pretty cool intro for them. I don't know if they'd do Wasp though. Wasp would be a little kind of odd.
They're actually supposed to be doing an Ant-Man movie.
Really?
Yes, they're supposed to be doing an Ant-Man movie with the guy who did Shaun of the Dead.
Edgar Wright.
Excuse me, might as well yell it out.
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, thank you. Because he's the one who's done Shaun of the Dead, and what was the other one?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
See, I should know this because I have these movies.
And they're all amazing.
And they're going to cut my card. They're going to cut my card. Ah, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you. I failed you, audience. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Well, why don't we go on break? Then, since we're talking about Marvel, well, we'll talk about Wolverine when you get back.
Admit it. You're the one who killed him. You seduced him. Gained his confidence. And then when he wasn't looking, you reached into your purse, and without conscience or remorse, you pulled out a gun and shot him. And cut. Curious? Visit theindygathering.com, a film festival, and so much more.
In today's world, there is an absolute need to know how to protect yourself. But who has the time or money for lengthy training sessions, with techniques you may not even remember in a time of need, or which can wind up putting you in even more danger? With the Escape and Survive seminars, you will learn effective and easy to remember techniques for getting out of dangerous situations. No complicated moves, no expensive, time-consuming training, just common sense, self-defense. Book your seminar today at escapeandsurvive.com.
Welcome back. I'm here with my guest today, the big dude.
Hello.
And we're finally going to talk about the Wolverine. It finally came out, and I was very excited.
Yes.
So, until...
We're hoping for Wolverine Redemption after Wolverine Origins, so did it deliver?
Actually, it was better than Origins.
Definitely.
I will admit that. Hugh Jackman did a great job.
Absolutely. And he still has it. He's definitely Wolverine.
Yes.
Still to this day. So
All right.
kudos to him.
So let's talk about the story. All right, the story of Wolverine is offered mortality. And that's kind of unusual for him. So he actually accepts, well, he doesn't accept,
Right.
but he actually,
Considers it.
considers it. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a little strange as well, just as like, well, I guess if he was really that unhappy, he could go with a mortal life, but I don't know. I think they could have done a little bit of a better job saying that he was that displeased, that he would really consider it. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely an interesting twist on the Wolverine story, that's for sure. So,
All right, so let's talk about the important things. All right? So let's talk about the villains. All right, because villains are cool.
Yep.
Depending on what they use. Viper.
yeah.
I know. She just...
She just didn't really do anything for me. She wasn't a big Marvel name, which sometimes can be okay if they take like somebody from kind of like a C-lister Marvel villain and just kind of make them something better, but they didn't really do that.
No.
She was just very mediocre.
Now, Viper was was one of the villains in the movie. She has the ability to... she's immune to poison. She has the ability to give poison. And actually, I was just discussing this today, and we were talking about she has a healing factor. Thank you, Andrew, for making me think about that.
Which is why she shed her skin, just inexplicably.
Yeah, and she becomes bald.
Right.
Go
So,
figure.
too bad she couldn't heal her hair.
Exactly.
Fashion disaster.
But one of the things,
Your
Andrew...
cells are dead.
Oh, good call.
but one of the things was how you said the fight scenes were great.
Yes, I did love the fight scenes, even though we got cheated out of Wolverine unkillable heel with death machine a little bit throughout the movie, which was a little disappointing, but that's okay. It was a little, again, something for him to work on, so that was okay.
Did you feel this was more of a love story?
In a weird roundabout sense, but not really. I mean, it was nice that he was kind of pining over Jean Grey, and then he sort of let her go at the end, which was great. That part was excellent, so I did really enjoy that. They kind of gave a good human aspect to Wolverine, because he should. I mean, he's not just this 5'2" unkillable death machine all the time. So
How does he not fight the ninjas?
Andrew brings in a
right.
very good point.
Yeah, that brings up a very good point. I mean, you have this killing machine, and I think it. Well, I can't say that because that will spoil the movie. I'm sorry, I almost spoiled it for you. But yeah, how does he not fight all these ninjas?
Yeah, and that was what we were waiting for too. Like throughout the whole thing, it's like he got shot, and it's just he just shrugged that off and just kept going, right? And then he's just, well, no, now I'm hurt, and I can't really do that. And now he's finally back to that point, and it's like, come on, let's get these ninjas out of here. Let's do this.
He became a giant pincushion.
Yeah.
A giant pincushion. He's just like, it's porcupine.
Right,
That's
had this Zen moment of like, oh, I'm just going to take all these arrows because I can. It's like, well, that's fine, and then on your way to getting these guys. So
Right, exactly. So, I don't get that at all whatsoever. But going back to the Jean Grey part of it, that's the one of my favorite parts of the movie is that, you know, he has such a guilty conscience about killing her. You know, he still loved her, obviously.
Right.
And he's having these fantasies about her, and they all ended badly.
yeah, they really did, and which is weird because then like then he wakes up with claws pointing out. So mental note: girls don't sleep with Hugh Jackman. But anyhow.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. So that would have been that was a great humanizing story, and it was nice that they wrapped it up at the end too, which was kind of cool, and also a great tie-in for X-Men 3. So so at least there was some continuity there too. So that part was excellent. So that part of the story was very good.
All right. One of the things I would have loved to see was more mutants.
Yes. Oh yes. I mean, I was waiting for chock full of mutants in this movie, and we really got cheated.
Yeah, I felt we got cheated.
Yeah, we got just Viper, who we already was kind of blasé, and then the other one with the farsing I can see your death power, which was like, wow, that's really kind of limited and kind of not that good. So
Well, it's time to show the audience a trailer.
good.
That's what we do on the show, is that we do sometimes show them a trailer, because trailers are awesome.
yes.
All right. So, here's the Wolverine.
A lot of people have tried to kill me, but I'm still here.
Eternity is a curse. I can make you mortal.
You offering to kill me? Eternity? You don't know the meaning of the word. What kind of monster are you? The Wolverine. You have 10 words. You don't have the faintest idea what's going on. How many words was that?
9.
In early 3D and large format theaters.
Awesome trailer, right? See, I told you. And one of the things that we need to mention is that there's a little something between the credits that you have to watch out for X-Men's Days of Future Past. So that's kind of interesting.
Absolutely.
And one of the other interesting is that they can't use mutants.
Yeah, we weren't able to see mutants in the Avengers movie, which now that I know that they are not allowed to do that,
Right.
makes sense, but it's kind of strange.
Yeah, and Avengers movies, because it's it's owned by Disney. Marvel's owned by Disney, and because they say Avengers aren't supposed to use mutants. Also, which is kind of funny because both movies are using Quicksilver.
Yes. In very different ways, even so.
But Disney's version, Avengers, cannot use mutants, but Fox can because they have the rights. Fox has the right to say mutants. Weird.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll work that out for Avengers 3.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they'll all collaborate together, and
Yeah.
we'll have an awesome movie. Well, we're going to need to take another break, but stick around. We're going to talk about robots and monsters.
Are you planning your next film or commercial project and looking for ways to take your production quality to a new level without breaking the bank? Try Millersburg, Ohio. Through the North Coast Film Commission, Millersburg opens its doors to filmmakers, helping you get exactly what you're looking for at lower costs than the big cities. Extras, crew, locations, permits, and anything and everything you need to make your project a success. Find out more at northcoastfilmcommission.com.
Welcome to Horror Hotel.
Welcome to Movie Outline 3, your first step to a successful screenplay. Movie Outline is powerful screenplay development software for both the amateur and the professional screenwriter, which uses the simple technique of step outlining to build your story, characters, and screenplay scene by scene. With Movie Outline, you can easily plan and customize your story structure, color code acts, rearrange scenes, develop and track characters, format your screenplay, and compare your own story to successful Hollywood movies. Movie Outline is the ultimate writer's tool. Visit www.movieoutline.com to download the free demo today.
Welcome back. All right, the next movie that we're going to end up reviewing, I said Robots and Monsters. I promise you this review. It was great. It was fantastic. I want to talk about Pacific Rim.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very good. If you went into it thinking it was just going to be, just robots and monsters, it totally was, but it was much more than that, too.
Okay, it came like straight out of a book.
Yeah,
it really
absolutely.
Did.
Yeah, I mean, down to like the technology that they used. I mean, the whole monster threat uniting the world against the monsters itself. It was just an absolute comic book come true onto the movies.
Okay, I have to ask you this: who was your favorite? What was your favorite? The robots or the monsters?
Oof, it's tough, but I have to go with the robots. I mean, the monsters had character. They did. They were certainly different, and they had cool abilities. But the robots all had character. You had your Mark Ones, which were the older robots, but they still had the real strong heavy hitters. And then you had all the way up to your Mark IIIs, which were the real fast and finesse robots versus. So they had very good range on all of them, even though they were there was only 50 of them or something like that. So
there was quite a few.
Yeah,
they got knocked down a bit.
Yeah,
there were quite a few. All right, I promised someone that I would not give any spoilers, and I'm not going to say who. But I like the monsters. The monsters were great because they combine things.
Yes.
Like one of the monsters was like frog, bat, frog, bat. What was the other one? The other one was like an ape and a rhino. It was a combination of things, and they were so great, and they adapt. That's what I liked about them. They weren't just these incredible beasts. They just adapt.
Right, absolutely. And you had ones that could swim real fast. I mean, you had the knife head, which was great. What a great adaptation that is! I'm gonna hit you with my head and just spear you right through you. Perfect. And then you had the one with the claws, the crab one that looked kind of like a spider as well. And yeah, they were excellent. Good blends of just terrifying creatures into making one huge terrifying creature.
And they had a great cast. I mean,
yes.
Awesome cast, including one favorite. And I don't remember the one guy, and I don't know where he was from, but I think he's on some motorcycle show.
Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah. She fell into my trap. Yes. He was great.
Yes. Oh, fantastic.
He was great. I don't know if this was his first big screen debut.
Yep.
And he was terrific. I mean, he played that character to a T.
Absolutely. And of course, Ron Perlman. I mean, you put Ron Perlman in pretty much anything, and it's going to be fantastic.
Dude, I love those shoes.
The shoes.
All right, I have to say this. It's not really a spoiler, but I have to say this. Ron Perlman is one of those characters. He's that presence of his and that voice, and he's always been that way, even before Hellboy. And he has these shoes, and it just set the whole tone for him. And it was like being in the Old West, and every time he walked, they just clang.
Definitely fantastic.
Yeah. Oh man, and who was one of your favorites?
I liked the female lead actually. I thought she was great. She had character, and she was in this kind of revenge plot versus the kaiju, which so was the main male lead as well. And so they of course they put them together because they had to have the two pilots, and they just were perfect for each other. She was sort of his balance, and he was sort of hers, and that was great. And that was exactly how they had to do it in order to be an effective team inside the actual robot. So not only did it make sense in the movie, but it was fantastic on screen.
See, my favorite were the scientists, and one particular, and you already know this, Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was great. Yes. He played a great character, and I mean, he was just so insane, and just he's just you couldn't even contain him.
Nope, he was very enthusiastic about the giant monsters, which seems strange, but as a scientist, it would be a very significant find. Right. So I could see somebody being very geeked out over being these monsters. Even yes, they're a threat, and yes, they're hugely damaging cities and killing people, but what are they made of? What makes them tick? He wants to take them apart, and that's what he wanted to do, and it was great. He showed it, and he really showed it, which was what we wanted to see. So,
okay,
yeah.
All right, so why don't we watch this amazing trailer for this amazing movie? Check it out.
Pacific Rim.
It is pretty cool. Let's do this!
Pacific Rim. In Real D 3D and IMAX 3D, July 12th. Rated PG-13.
That was an amazing trailer for an amazing movie, right? Right? It was better than Transformers.
Much better than Transformers.
All right. So right now we're going to take a little break. We're going to talk about some college movies when you get back. Stay tuned.
You two have disrupted my classroom for the last time.
What are you going to do about it? Spank us?
She can't spank us. It's against the law.
Spanking would be too easy. I want to cause more permanent damage.
And cut. Curious? Visit theindygathering.com, a film festival, and so much more.
Are you a filmmaker and looking for the location of your next project? Contact the North Coast Film Commission. With small cities throughout Ohio, we're here to help with your film, television, and commercial productions. With low to no cost permits and locations, we'll help stretch your budget. From our production resources to our talent database, we will show you just what the North Coast has to offer. Visit northcoastfilmcommission.com today. Welcome back from the break.
Well, we're going to take a little classic twist with our next reviews. Now, they're not actually real reviews, more like a topic situation. I remember when we went to the movies, when we went to go see Pacific Rim, and we were talking about how many kids are just around taking up our space in the theaters.
And it's summertime, so you're really waiting for those summer blockbusters, and it's just like blah, 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 blah all the time. It's like, turn your phone off, pay attention.
So we decided to talk about classic college movies, comedies, or just anything in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of my favorites was Animal House,
of course. Animal House is an absolute classic.
So do you think all the other movies follow up the Animal House, or is Animal House still number one?
Well, it's hard to say because it's classic, but it's been a common theme through college movies where it's like the rejects and then they get better. Like PCU, perfect example. It's very much the same thread where it's just these college rejects and they're just trying to make their way, and it's how they do that. So, but is it still number one? Absolutely. I mean, it's Animal House. I mean, come on. So it's really set the bar there, and it set it pretty high. And a lot of movies have come very close, but.
All right, so the next one of my favorites is Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. I shouldn't have watched it when I was a kid because it was bad.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you this. Who was your favorite nerd?
Booger. Of course, Booger. He was like your geeky nerd. Like, he wasn't the smartest one out of the group, and he was definitely kind of the least hygienic. And that just defined geek/nerd back in the 80s, you know?
Booger was disgusting, though.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
the whole thing.
That was the best part. He was great. That burp, that was just...
See, I like Poindexter.
Poindexter was good.
Yeah, Poindexter was a bit awkward, and that was, I think that was Timothy Busfield.
Yeah.
And most people probably know him from 30-something, anything. So I mean, there was a lot of big stars in that one, too.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards, he was in that, and I think he just started in 0 Hour, and I think they ended up canceling that. So all right, so what other college movies do you think?
I mean, Van Wilder is a classic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like Van Wilder? So I mean, here is again your college reject who's been in school for way too many years, just because that's what he wants to do.
He wasn't really a reject. He was one of the popular guys in school.
Okay, great, granted, yeah. So it was kind of a twist there, but I mean, still, he was very. He was very eccentric. Yeah. How about that? So
yeah, that was Ryan Reynolds' favorite.
Yes,
everybody's hating on Ryan Reynolds now.
They really are. And Ryan Reynolds needs to learn to say no to a movie once in a while. Is the problem. So,
but he was good in Safe House, though.
Yeah, he was good in lots of stuff, but it's just after Green Lantern, it's been kind of downhill, and that was a far downhill. But
Road Trip.
Great classic college film as well. It really and it was sort of out of the college element too, which was kind of nice. So, but still in that same vein. Yeah, classic college movie.
That was like Tom Green.
Tom Green. Whatever happened to you, Tom Green?
He did. Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh,
that's what he did.
It was the best movie name ever, by the way. But yeah, he just really didn't go anywhere from there. But that's fine. Actually,
one of my favorite movies right now that was a college film, and it's a popular one, and I'm glad it's going to get a sequel. It's Pitch Perfect.
Yes. Now, Pitch Perfect was a great movie. Again, not very college-y, but it was set there, which was fantastic. But it's such a funny movie. I mean, come on. And again, with our rejects theme, the new girls were not really living up to the old girl standards, right. But they picked themselves up, and holy crap, was that movie funny. I mean, just from the get-go, it was funny. And good acting, too. I mean, the girl, the lead girl, I can't remember her name at the top of my head, but Anna Kendrick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anna Kendrick.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, she was not really much in lead in anything. She was in Scott Pilgrim, and that was great. But, for her lead role, what a knockout of the park for a great lead role for her.
And now they're playing her song on the radio.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
There's 3 versions of Cups now out there. And it was just this weird thing that she's like, hey, I can do this. And they were like, yeah, do that. That's fantastic. And now it's this big phenomenon. So, and kudos to her.
Well, I hate to do this to you, but it's time for us to go. But I want to thank you for coming in and helping
thank you for
me
having me.
So that was great.
Excellent.
Hope to see you in here some more talking about some good movies.
Absolutely. Well, especially with comic book movies coming out.
Oh,
yeah. So.
Oh, definitely. 2014 and 2015 are going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be terrific. And thank you for joining us at the Big Review. I'm Bernard Adams. And remember to always keep your views open.